You guys seen Grayson Waller? Huh? You got that Dusty Cup later? Kick ass, man. Somebody hit my music.
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
money.
Let's get to the
money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Let's get to the mother trucking monies then. Once again, guys, I'm the captain today and I've got the controls. So there will be random stuff going down. And just bear with it. Because Sean got the controls and is the captain now. So as you know, guys, our Fridays are meant for one thing and one thing only. Pitching props, the next best thing to God itself. And I'll fight you for that, really. So, and there's only one guy that I will bring on to ever talk pitching props with me, and that's my boy Spin Doc. How you doing, my dude?
Doing good. You see me broadcasting from a different room today. We had some internet connectivity issues, but I'm right next to the router, so we're full strength now. We're ready to go. Got some new, actually been testing out some new metrics and some new combination of metrics that it's actually been paying off really well. So 4 in a row so far, going for 5, 6, 7 and beyond tonight.
I'm your new under buddy, bro. I mean, at the end of the day,
they're addicting. They're addicting, man. They're addicting.
It's more funner betting unders because you're winning the whole fucking time until you lost. Where it's the other way around. I'm sitting there screaming and begging for strikeouts. Where I'm over here cheering when they don't get one. It's just a whole different fucking, I don't know, bro. My son's watching the Dodger game with me last night, and he goes, what do you got to bet on? I was like, I want Kershaw to do well, but I just don't want strikeouts. So every 2 strike count, I'm like, no. And they get a ground ball. I'm like, yeah, get him out. Just get him out. Like, dude, I didn't want him getting on, but, you know, at the end of the day, 7 strikeouts on a pitch count. Told you he wouldn't go past 5.
Nope.
Scared me when he struck out the fucking side on second, though. I was like, oh, here we go, huh? This is going to happen.
That was weird. He was like 0-3. Yeah, that was strange.
I was like, oh, fuck, is it going to go 0-3? I'm fucking cooked by the 5th inning. I mean, unless that 5th inning's a 0. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're winning until you're not when you're betting an under.
That's right.
We were winning. So, yeah, you were on a couple good unders yesterday. You were on Maeda and Paxton as well. And Paxton made you sweat when they brought him back out. But at the end of the day, it's still cash.
Yeah, you know, one of my buddies asked me about the Paxton one too. And, you know, that's where just knowing your situation is so helpful because you look at his average pitches. You knew he wasn't going to go very deep into that inning. He had the top of the lineup up, and then he also had a couple. He also had a couple solid contact righties coming up. So I knew we had to get by Witt because I'm like, if Witt can get on, which thankfully he did, I'm like, there's just no way this cashes. There's no way.
It was Macy.
Or Macy.
Macy was the lefty, and I knew after the lefty, I'm like, he's done.
Yeah.
He is out after this guy with Perez and whoever behind him. I'm like, this is last batter, bro.
Well, and the other thing with Paxton is if you look at his average velo by innings, I mean, he averages 96 on his fastball, but he's in the 97 range early. After the fifth inning, it's like 94, 94.3. And even if you're the Royals, you can hit that. Number was too high. The number was just too high.
I definitely wasn't involved there. And I was a little freaking pissed off I didn't get my hook on Nola, even though I got the 6 and the 5 and the -1.5 and all that. But so many opportunities. And when a coach brings you back out, when I thought you were 97 pitches through fucking whatever, 5, I was like, oh, you're done. At least we got 6, motherfucker. And then they brought him out, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then we had 2 guys with 2 strikes, and still it's like.
Well, and just real quick before we get going, the Maeda one, for anybody listening, is actually a really good case study in reading lines, because you look at a guy like Maeda, and he's against a team like the Tigers that, on the whole, for the season, have a high K rate. But when you look deeper and you look at their whiff rate against the pitches that he throws, wasn't very high, especially not the lineup they put out there. The other thing to look for is look at the line and look at where the money is going. Everybody and their brother, everybody in the world was on Maeda when it came out. Over 6.5, 10 strike. Oh, he's going to go nuts today. You look at it all over Twitter, all over everything. And what did the line do? It dropped. That always tells you something. And it dropped to the point where DK refused to move it off of 5.5. All they kept doing was just adding juice on the over. They refused to move it back. That always tells you something. You got to know how to read the lines, guys.
At the end of the day. So let's get into the first guy we will talk about, guys, on this show. We will talk the first line open up on a K prop, also the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show. Then we will see where the value lies with PrizePicks, as this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. Guys, go on over there and use that promo code PUBSPORTS. You're going to get a match deposit of $100, minimum of $25 on your first deposit by using the best promo code on God's green earth. Of course, guys, that's Pub Sports. First guy on the board today is a guy that I thought I wanted when we first just from broad look at this team. Number 58 in the black book, Andrew Abbott at the Pirates, striking people out this year 26% of the time while walking people 9.5% of the time. Open them up on DraftKings at 6+ at +115, where the best line available to that 5.5 is even money on MGM. PrizePicks as well has him as a 5.5. Yet his pitching out on PrizePicks are 17.5, yet it's 16.5 -125 on MGM. So for a 16.5 out. So we have a whole different out difference going on between what PrizePicks is offering and what the world is offering. So projected lineups is 8 righties and 1 lefties for your buccos. And you could count Jack Sawinski for a strikeout or 2. Why do they run him versus lefties?
I don't
get that.
I don't
get it. But let's talk Abbott.
Okay, so when I look at a guy like Abbott, the thing that I always look for is I look at teams' whiff rate and I look at teams' swing rates against breaking balls. Some teams are fastball hitters, some teams are breaking balls, some teams are neither. But when I look at overall top to bottom in the Pirates lineup, I do see a lot of 30+ whiff rates against breaking balls, like even specifically like Brian Reynolds, who's projected to bat second and who's probably going to see him 3 times, has a 35.3% whiff rate against breaking balls. That is what Abbott's strength is. Another thing that sticks out to me in this one as well is that you have I know they're going to run 8 righties, so it's probably a smart thing because Abbott does strike lefties out on the road 37.5% of the time. Umpire for this one, pretty neutral. Chad Fairchild, overall, very, very, very average. Not a lot of advantage either way there. The big thing for me here, though, is how often is Abbott going to get that first pitch strike? How often is he going to hit that? When the Buccos do go down 0-1, they are striking out well over 30%, actually almost 35%. Abbott has a high K rate when he gets an 0-1 count as well. The problem here is twofold. Number one is that his first pitch strike percentage is only 61.5. I know I've been talking about how I want to see 60%, but remember, 60% is the minimum. For me to want to think about taking a line at either 5.5, 6.5 or up, I probably would want to see a 63, 64 here. Pirates first strike percentage, not the best, not the worst, especially over the last 30 days. It's pretty well in line, I believe. Yeah, 63.3, so a little bit higher, but overall not bad. The big thing here, though, is Abbott only has a 45th percentile chase rating, and as of late has not been getting guys to chase as much in his last few starts. The Pirates, the one thing they do is they don't swing much outside of the zone, except for Sawinski, who's going to hack at shit and probably K once for sure, maybe twice. But you have a Pirates team who's only swinging outside of the zone 26.9% of the time. That's compared to an MLB average of 29% across 943 plate appearances. That's a big number. That's a significant difference. It's probably a good thing that they're not, because they're only making contact 49.4% of the time, which is almost last in MLB. So my problem here with getting to this over is my problem with the under is obvious. It's Sawinski and some of the other stuff I talked about. My problem getting to this over is that with Abbott's up and down performance, throwing strike one and getting strike one on hitters and making guys swing at that out of the zone stuff, which the Pirates don't do. I want it, but I don't know if I can get there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I sure as fuck can't get there. And
can't do it.
You talked about reading lines, and let me talk, man. I see some fucking red flags, guys, in this line. Now, this is a spot, guys, that I thought at first glance I did want to get involved with until I seen these red flags popping up more than once. So, yeah, guys, over the last 200 plate appearances, the Pirates have been ass versus lefties, right? Dead ass. They're terrible. Isolated power below 200. They're striking out 23% of the time, and they're not walking. I get it, guys. They're trash. So it says this guy should go 6 innings and have anywhere from 6 to 9 strikeouts, right? He should dominate this team. Well, then why do we get plus money on the 5.5? I mean, before we even think of adding on some tax, guys, in the Pirates numbers, this should have opened them up, guys, at minus 120, not no plus 120. So they were wanting some over money, and they got it, and they're not getting under money here. There's nothing but one-way action in this spot. But let's go the other way and give them plus money, huh? So I have to go back, guys, and see the last few lefties. And okay, maybe the books are giving these Pirates love, as they gave Fried a nice number, and Eduardo Rodriguez was dropped 50 cents in juice from where his line should have been, and they didn't hit. And they're asking for some over money versus these Pirates versus versus lefties lately, guys. And the books have been cleaning up. Now, the red flags is he's only given up more than 3 earned runs in a game, just 4 of his 12 games this year. 33%, right? So why the fuck is his earned runs juiced to minus 164 on his 2.5?
Oh, yes.
I pulled that up right now, guys, so you can see it. And the second red flag is, why is his outs at 16.5 minus 125? Yeah, there's a book out there with 150, but this book's been taking under money as it was at minus 130. And like Fried was the other day, guys, this looks to be a layup, a spot where he should smack. These guys don't hit lefties. They suck. I get it. But this shit was like this with Fried, guys, and he didn't make it 5 innings, and he got the living shit kicked out of him. So the line's saying he's getting 3 runs in his sleep. He's giving that up. I don't want to be involved with a guy who's giving up 3 runs and can be pulled at any given time, guys. At the end of the day, there's enough red flags for me just to let it be. The red flag saved me money on Fried the other day. Yeah, Paxton, he went out there, didn't give up the earned runs. He didn't make the outs, and he sure as fuck didn't hit the strikeouts. It's enough to tell me just to leave it fucking be. Now, can you still hit your strikeout prop while getting your ass handed to you? Yes. Yes, you can. So the lean's over. I'm not putting my money on it, guys, because it's telling me that this guy don't go 5 innings today.
Yep. One other thing to note, too, you talked about the earned runs prop. It's very suspicious because since the All-Star break, 276 plate appearances against lefties by the Pirates and only 74 weighted runs created plus. They actually rank damn near, actually, I think they might be last. They are last in ISO against lefties. That's held pretty true for the whole season. This is a team where not only strikeouts, but to your point, Sharpie, I mean, they just don't even hit against lefties. And now we're going to get a juiced 2.5. Is it just because they're at home? Oh, no. That doesn't happen with the Pirates, not with this offense. So you have to think that it's probably not going to be smooth sailing for Abbott. And you're going to be sweating it either way. When you have 30 some K props to pick from today, there's much better spots to invest your money.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one that I did invest my money, and now I'm being like, God damn it. Why'd they put 4 lefties out on me? I was okay with the 3. Now I got to go run some shit now on the extra dude they added into this, because they're actually being very analytical right here in this next one we're about to talk about. And that's Tarik Skubal at the Red Sox, guys. Number 33 in the black book. He's striking people out 26% of the time career-wise, while walking people 7% of the time throughout his career. Morning line is 6+ at +110 on FanDuel. Best line available as of 30 minutes to the show is 6+ at +110. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually money coming heavily on the under right now because of the fucking 4th lefty added into this lineup. PrizePicks has him at a 5.5, whereas pitching outs are under over 15.5. Projected lineup was 6 righties, 3 lefties. They gave us 4 lefties, 5 righties. What you got on Mr. Tarik?
All right, so Mr. Skubal, I know they've been letting him go a little bit longer lately. He's up in the 90 pitch range. That's what I ran it at, is him throwing 90 exactly. My problem here is a fewfold, because when you look at Boston, early in the year, you would think that Boston would be, they were one of the best contact teams in the majors. That has just fallen off the table recently. 27.6% K percentage against lefties since the All-Star break. And they actually rank near last in most swing metrics, including my kind of like almighty swing metric, CSW, called strikes plus whiffs. Over the last 30 days, 29.1%. When you think about some of the teams they've played in that stretch, like the Royals starting pitchers and a few others, that is hideously bad. So I hear your point, Sharpie, about the lefties versus righties, because, Skubal this year on the road against lefties, only a 14.3% K percentage. He's only sitting in the low 20s for his career. So it's a little iffy. I want to just run some more deep numbers on specifically the whiff and the K percentage against the slider with this new lineup, because that is typically his put away pitch. I'm not totally going to write off the over right now, but the addition of the other lefty is a little concerning.
Yeah, I'm over here literally doing stuff on screen for these fellas. And there's your lefties, guys, over their last 200 plate appearances. They're striking out 28% of the time. They're not fucking walking. And that ISO, it was actually decent until they added Verdugo in, guys. But that K percentage was just as bad, and the walk percentage was just as bad. So I was going to already get into it, because I'm playing him with 3 lefties, and at the end of the day, I'm not worried about it. Yes, if I lose, it's because there's 4 lefties, and his career strikeout versus lefties is better than this year, but not that much fucking better. So let's talk about it. We have a spot, guys, where the numbers scream kumbaya fucking yeah, but the lineup doesn't. Now, let me talk to you. When we look at these numbers, guys, I had to go back 30 days just to get 170 plate appearances. And in those 170s, what I brought up, we got 75 of those from that lefty group that they did just add in to us. So in that time span, guys, they're not hitting with a team isolated power of $120. They're not walking below league average, and as well as they striking out 27% of their at-bats. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span, guys. And I'm going to tell you, I went through the whole 30 days because none of the guys I would bet on have seen this team. And, let's talk about a couple guys right now. Austin Cox started the game yesterday for the Royals as an opener. He went 2 innings with 2 strikeouts. Some cuck named Cole Raggins went 6.2 innings and had 11. Scott Alexander opened for the Giants, and he only had 1 strikeout and 1.2 innings of work, but only on 16 pitches. Sean Manaea, the guy who got demoted to being a guy who follows up an opener for the Giants, he had 5 strikeouts and 4.2 innings of work. Fuck, guys. Waldekuck from the A's had 5 strikeouts and 4.1 innings of work, and even Justin Steele had 6 through 6. What? Y'all about to get fucking Skubal. Skubal, like going to school, but nah, guys, because we're gonna get some money off this man today, guys. I have played my guy in spots in years, guys. I don't play him in the division. Hell no. And I'll play him out the division. And if you give me that K percentage that they're showing today, God, it might be a ladder spot. Now, the ladder spot may be hard with the lefties in there, guys. Yes, he has a solid 10.3 K per nine versus the right-handed side in his career and a disgusting 7.4 K per nine versus the left-handed side. But like I said, when I ran these lineups, when I just pulled up these lefties numbers right now, these lefties ain't the ones to be afraid of. These lefties are striking out. They're not being patient. And it's something I picked up on the Red Sox at the very beginning of the year. Even when they had Kiki Hernandez and a couple guys, like Kiki's a whole reason why their numbers versus lefties are dropping off. That guy is a platoon hitter for the Dodgers strictly against lefties, guys. The guy's career OPS is in the 900s versus lefties when the league average is 7. The dude can smash lefties. So at the end of the day, Verdugo can't. And they got him in the lineup today, guys. So there is a few guys that do hit lefties hard that are lefties on this team, but they still have that swing and miss in them, guys. And they're swing and miss into a whole lot of bumps. They don't have that the history of seeing Skubal. Lefties or not, guys, I'm in for a full unit at plus 110 on the 5.5. And it's Skubal day, baby.
Yep. One last thing about that. So the Skubal's best put away pitch is his slider. When you look at the top two lefties in the lineup with Devers and Yoshida, their numbers against a slider, specifically a slider from lefties, it's actually pretty good. Then you look at the last two. You look at Verdugo and you look at Casas. Verdugo, 28.1% whiff percentage, 27.3% K percentage. 25% of his strikeouts have been on a slider. Then you look at Casas, 44.2 and 34.1 K percentage, where over a quarter of his strikeouts are off a slider. That's Skubal's best pitch. So you should not expect very much from a strikeout perspective from Devers or Yoshida. You can absolutely get Verdugo and you can for sure get Casas. So when you figure that, yeah, they got 4 people batting left-handed, but when you go and you look and you compare it against the pitches that they struggle with that Skubal throws, it's really only like 2.5.
And the way I looked at it is plus money, man, in a spot. If they was minus 120, 30, okay, I would have hesitated there. Yep. But, dude, I'm not having to pay juice for a team who hasn't seen this guy, and they're struggling. It's just like, I get why they're giving me plus money, all them lefties, bro, but those lefties are struggling. And, yeah, Yoshida and them will be tough, but, dude, I can't believe they put Verdugo in the damn fucking lineup. Like, what, dude? What? Okay, thanks. Cora don't like him, bro. Really? They don't like each other, and maybe he just wants to do the struggle.
Yeah. So the other thing I look at when I look at these two is I look at the top of the lineup against the pitcher's pitch mix, because you got to think that under most circumstances, he's going to see these guys two for sure, probably 3. So then you look at Reef Snyder and Duvall. And Reef Snyder against a slider, 35.8 K whiff percentage, 29.7 K percentage. That's a good one. And then you look at Duvall, 40.2 and 34. Almost a third of his strikeouts have come off a slider. Everything screams over here.
Yeah, baby, let's go. Except for the 4 lefties.
You know, this is where I think that I can't tell people that you have to look deeper into the line. You have to look deeper into the metrics. And, this is a case where it's not as simple as just lefties versus righties, because the top 2 lefties don't strike out very much against lefties at all. So you should probably not count on them. The bottom 2 hasn't really mattered what pitcher they faced. So that's what I said, is that it's not really for pure lefties. It's more from a metrics perspective. I'd probably run it at like 2.5.
Yeah, see, but I look at it that as you just said, the top 2 guys in the lineup. So, okay, he ain't seeing them 4 times. So we now got to get this in that 6 innings, because he ain't going over 6. But I actually do lean his outs over as well. Like, every good pitcher or decent pitcher has gone 6 innings versus this team from the left-handed side, going back to April fucking 1st or March 30th when the season started. Like, They pick on mediocre to bottom end of the barrel lefties, and they haven't been doing that over the last month. What are you going to do when Skubal comes for you?
So
what are you going to do?
So Skubal is projected by pretty much every metric that I can run, because I always calculate expected plate appearances because I want to see how many times he's going to face these guys. 20 is the number that I would run it at without question. 5 innings, 4 guys an inning on average. That's 20 plate appearances. So you got to figure that he's probably going to see the top 3 times, and he'll see the top 2 guys 3 times, and he'll see the bottom 2 twice. Maybe twice, maybe Cassis only once, but even still, there's still plenty of Ks elsewhere where even if you only, those 4 guys, if they bat a total of, let's just say 8 times in the game, there's still a chance that he could get them twice out of those 8 times. So that's 2. And then you figure, can he get 3 against the rest of or 4 against the rest of the righties? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Do us a favor, guys. 60 plus live almost in here. Smash that like if you haven't, guys. We don't ask for much. I do ask for a like button to be pressed. I mean, yeah, I don't ask for damn much in life, but you know, a little bit. Let's get on into the next guy, guys. Justin Verlander, number 40 in the black book versus the Angels, striking people out at a 20.5% clip while walking people 8% of the time this year. Opened them up on Caesars 7 plus minus 127, where the best line available to the 6.5 is minus 110 on DraftKings. And PrizePicks has him at a 6.5, whereas earned runs on PrizePicks are under over 2.5. And I'll tell you what, that's probably exactly right, because he can go 7 and give up 3, or he can go 5 and give up 3. So I think the run part is right. Projected lineup is 5 lefties, and 4 righties. What you got on Justin Verlander's first start back at home?
Yeah, my big thing for Verlander, you mentioned coming back home now. There's obviously great history against this lineup. 145 plate appearances, 26.9% strikeout percentage. That all lines up wonderfully. My problem here is that Verlander has trouble finding the strike zone this year, and I don't mean overall. I mean on first pitch. 53.5 first pitch strike percentage. It hasn't really gotten better over the course of the year. So the Angels, when they do go up 1-0, which is quite frankly not very often, because they do have the worst, and I stress the worst, highest swing rate outside of the zone at 33%. They're actually tied for last with the Guardians. Now, the problem is that the Guardians make contact on 62.6% of those swings. The Angels, 47.8. Ugh, that is so bad. That is just disgustingly bad. So my thing here is that at a 6.5, if Verlander can get strike 1, even in the 60% range, if you think he's going to do that, yeah, this can be an over. I mean, are you going to bet a under strikeout prop against the Angels on the road against a K pitcher like Verlander? No, of course you're not. Over is the only way to look here. He does have a 69th percentile chase rating. His chase percentage has actually gone up in his last few starts. So that would be some evidence leaning here. There's a few other plays that I like better on this one, because I don't know if I can trust him to get strike 1 consistently, even with the amount that the Angels hack.
I definitely hear you there. So, we get Justin Verlander back in Houston for the first time since the trade. And yeah, let me talk to you. We can look at last year, guys, for his home road splits, because why? He was a fucking Houston Astro last year. And yeah, he averaged 3.45 more strikeouts per 9 innings at home than he did on the road. I mean, I'm not going to say the dude cheats at home, but he fucking cheats at home, guys. I'll fucking tell you that.
It's Houston. They all do.
Bro, they do with their infield by soaking it. They do anything they can do for any type of advantage. They do not zoom up on their pitchers with their video camcorders. You'll only see the back or you'll see the batter, guys. There's certain tricks to this trade, guys, and Houston's on it. So it's not even just that, guys, and it's the fact that we're talking lefties, and his K per 9 also last year goes up to 2.5 more strikeouts better than from the right-handed side. Now, I'm going to talk JV last year's numbers, strikeout percentages-wise, because his numbers are just a little tad bit fraudulent this year. We talked about it. His spin rate has actually gone up almost 100 RPMs on every pitch since last year. And his velocity is still the same. So at the end of the day, it was going to start coming back around to the medium, guys. And he has started to strike people out more often than he did his first freaking, say, 8 starts. But they put this man at a 6.5. And I mean, Lord almighty, he's hit this one of his last 10 games and just 3 of 17 on the fucking year. Now, this is where our boy Spin Doc gets back, is you're not going to bet the under on an Angels. And the books know that. They have to put a number there that they have a chance at fucking winning at. Because nobody's betting under, and it's all one-way action. And the books have to give themselves an out at winning. So they're going to add the strikeout on. Now, if I do play him today, guys, I'm going to pull him down to where he should be at 6. And I'm going to take the Astros to win. Because there's a few different nuggets going on in this, and we're not going to talk about Reed Detmers today, but I'm going to fade that motherfucker, whether it be his 2.5 earned runs or whether it be back JV and take his strikeouts down to whatever I need to be, because the line's only like a minus 175, so I could probably get away with a 5 in money line as this man, I'm not saying he cheats at home in Houston. No. But in his last 10 starts in Houston, he's given up 3 runs one time, and the other 9, he didn't give up more than 1. I mean, god damn, this dude is elite in Houston. And it's not just like, oh, look, he flips the switch at home. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe there's like 5 things that help this man out. But it don't matter, guys. JV at home, JV versus this many lefties, JV versus the projected lineup is either over or nothing. I just refuse to chase. I will never go up to a 6.5 unless you prove me otherwise. And this man's been jumped up 4 times this year. And he's only 1-3 to the over the times they have jumped him up. So give me the death squad from the Houston Astros, meaning I don't want nobody out the damn lineup. And I'm looking to fade Detmers. And I might just have to do it by simply taking Verlander down to 5, as in you really want to put Cron and Ohtani really in that 2-3 or 2-4 hole, as man, both of them dudes combined are striking out at 34% of their at bats versus the man, and that's in 49 plate appearances just by themselves. So
and you also look at the top 3 for the Angels, and you look at their strikeout percentage versus a slider, which is one of Verlander's put away pitches, and they're all over 30. They're all actually Ohtani's over 40. So, you know, they're guys that you can strike out with JV's mix. My problem still goes back to even looking back, even since the trade too, like I can't trust the guy to throw enough first pitch strikes to hit a number this high. And you got to know, even a guy that averages 100, because Verlander averages about 100.8 pitches per start. So even for a guy that throws 100, if you're only getting strike 1 on 53% of your batters, you have to understand the man averages about 4 pitches per at bat. That's probably going to go up when you don't get strike 1 in the 5 or 6 range, because you have to then come back in that count for sure to strike somebody out, right? Like, people don't understand how hard it is to strike a batter out when you go down 1-0 in the count, and how you have to come back and get that. So with him not being able to do that and not being able metrically to show me that he can do it consistently, that's why the 6.5 is just one number too high.
Question though to that. Maldonado and Alvarez, you don't think he had a new catcher for the first time in how long, and it was a rookie? Maybe.
Even with Maldi catching him, it's still been nope.
That's only been 2 games. Still, and I mean, the Yankees are walking 13% against every, like, the Yankees are top of the food chain.
No, I get that. But my point about that was that, like, I can't trust him at this number until I see it.
I just won't chase it up to that, because I just
can't trust him until I see it.
But if they really do load up 5 lefties, like I said last year, guys, it's not just his strikeouts. Lefties hit $165 off this man this year, and to boot, everybody in this lineup with 10 at bats or more, which there's quite a few, None of them are batting above 200 unless you want to take in Rendon, who's on the IL. So none of them are batting above 200 versus this man. He's at a place where he hasn't allowed more than 1 run in 9 of his last 10 starts. And even when he did allow more than 1, it was 3 runs in 7 innings. And yeah, this is back JV day in a playoff atmosphere with his first game back at home versus a team who folds under the playoff atmosphere and bright lights year in and year out. So this is just an easy Astro spot to me. Yep. I think he shines, bro. I really do. I'm not paying up for 7. I'll take him down for 6 in the win, or I'm just going to take him straight up -1.5, or I'm just looking to back JV and fade Detmers.
Yep. The only other thing that I would say, if you're looking for a prop from this game, if he's in the lineup, I think you can look at a number of Moustakas' hitting props, decent history there. Plus, against the slider for the year, batting .347, .653 slugging, and 60% hard hit contact percentage. One of the highest overall weighted run values against the slider, which Verlander does use as his main put away pitch and does throw 27% of the time. So Moustakas is a guy that actually can hit that. Then you go and you look at his stats as well against four seams. And 266 with a 50% hard contact rate, 443 slugging, not as good, but then you have a guy that hits those at that rate against a guy like Verlander that throws them almost 75% of the time. I'm actually going to be looking to potentially work Moustakas into a few hitting props tonight.
Mike Moustakas in 74 at bats has 12 hits, 11 singles, batting .169 versus Verlander. That's a lot of at bats.
A lot of at bats.
So you're probably going to get plus money.
You're going to get a good number.
Terrible. You're going to get a good number because of his past history. So yeah, people do change. But yeah, let's get into another guy that I want to talk about, and maybe you want to talk about, and that's Corbin Burnes at the White Sox, number 14 in the black book, striking people out this year 25% of the time, while walking people 9% of the time. Opened them up 7+ -126 on FanDuel, where the best line available prior to the show was 7+ -130, where DraftKings has him at that flat 7. And his fantasy score on DraftKings is under over 37.5. I mentioned that because I'll talk about that later. Projected lineup is 5 righties, 4 lefties. What you got on Burnesy?
All right. Well, even though he's on the road, this is another over or nothing spot because I'm not paying heavy juice, even at an inflated number with the White Sox. I'm especially not doing that because Burnes does have a chase rating, which has been way better lately. You got to remember, for the season, it's in the 70th percentile, but lately it's just been absolutely phenomenal. Much higher than that. The White Sox, one of the worst chase teams in Major League Baseball, 33% swing rate outside the zone, and they make contact less than league average, 53.8% compared to a league average of 54.9. The other thing that they do is they have, by a pretty comfortable mile, the worst first strike percentage in all of baseball, swinging early a lot, 66.9%. Burnes, when he gets strike one, first of all, Burnes for the season does get strike one on hitters 60% of the time, which has been going up lately. When he does, he strikes them out near 40%. So over is the only way I can look. My issue with this one is all of the righties, and more specifically, all of the righties that do make contact with the cutter, and being on the road. It's just a mix where, I mean, I might sound like a broken record because I've said this already today, but there's better spots to get your money in. For me, the number is just one too high. I think if you can pull it down, I am very interested. I'm very interested in 6.5, not 7.5.
Oh, I may be interested in both, but 6.5 has definitely got my fancy right here. And Corbin Burnes gets his shot at the White Sox. And when we look at these numbers, guys, they're walking below league average, not really hitting the ball with a team isolated power of $140, and they are striking out 24% of the time. Now, this is where I say lineups are key, as these overall numbers were not in the lineup versus Cole the other day, as the lineup actually numbers that he faced was only striking out 21% of the time. So yes, this looks like a great spot in more ways than one to get in, guys, as he does have some high velocity, 95 miles per hour and above, which has been an issue for this team for the most part. as well as projecting for lefties, is this man is a different Burnes this year. He's still great, but his K per 9 is a solid 10 versus the left-handed side and drops to a mediocre 8.3 versus the right-handed side. And that has to do with his changeup being elite, guys, as he only throws that pitch to lefties and just refuses to throw it to a righty. And damn, bro, could we just get lefties, por favor? And yeah, guys, at the end of the day, there isn't a lot of past history versus Burnes in this lineup, but he's handled the ones that he has seen in the past for the most part. So lineup pending for me on his, guys, I will be on his over K prop or on his outs, as if the K percentage isn't there, this team isn't hitting, guys, and I'll look for Burnes to go 7 to 9 innings today, guys, and then I'll just take his outs. As yes, I think he should be out there long enough to have ample opportunity for the versus this projected lineup, and the more lefties, the better. As give me whip and chase percentage in that line and their overall numbers, guys. And seeing that they're the top 5 worst in baseball in both those categories already, I'm pretty sure it's going to show up. So when we go look at our boy Burnesy this year versus teams that are in the top 10 with, he is 4-0 to the over 6.5, 7, 8, 8, and 10. Yeah, averaging 8.2 strikeouts a game. That's almost 2 strikeouts a wiggle room, guys, just on teams who whiff. Now let's go check the teams who chase, guys, that he has seen. And he's had 7, 9, 10, 5, and 3. Uh-oh. 5 and 3? Uh-oh. That's no bueno, guys. Well, let me tell you, that 5 and 3 came versus the no-fly zones, Nationals, and Guardians. And my boy Spin brought it up earlier. I believe it was on the Guardians, or maybe it was the Nationals. But they may chase, but they fucking make contact when they chase.
There's the Guardians.
And when you make contact, it's a motherfucking bitch to get a strikeout versus. So no harm, no foul, in my opinion, when you didn't hit your K prop versus those two teams. That's fine. That's life. That life's a bitch and you marry one. So the man went 8 innings and 10 strikeouts when he faced the only team like the White Sox are projected to be today, and that's top 5 whiff and top 5 chase. He's only faced one team who landed in both of those categories. And just give me a team like that today, and I will look to ladder this man. Now, the issue right here, guys, is it does take me like anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes to run a lineup. Now, I did already do the lineup as projected, and it's sitting there waiting just to make sure. But I want top 5 whiff, top fucking 5 freaking chase, and I'll freaking look to ladder him. But when I did drop it, guys, and I did do the lineup, only 3 matched up who had bad whiff and bad chase combined. So you can book them, but then you go look at a few other guys, and it's going to be real tough to get strikeouts from 3 of the projected batters, where the other guys say it's going to be so-so. And that's going to be a lot of work on a lineup right there, guys. It's not going to be as easy as possible as just in the whiff and chase, because there's 3 guys in this lineup that don't look like they're going to strike out. And when you're betting a number 7 or above, you can't just be picking on 6 people, guys. It's just, for me, that ain't going to cut it. And I'm not looking to do it. So I need lineups when I thought I wanted to hammer him just strictly on the overall broad numbers of this White Sox team.
Yeah, I think regardless of their lineup, if you can find a way to get it down to a 6.5 and put it with something where you're not paying insane juice, I would probably take the 6.5 now.
Yeah, right now, I know he does have 2
under any circumstances, I would take the 6.5 now. He's got
2 versus Benintendi and 3 at bats, but it says by the numbers, he ain't going to get Benintendi.
Nope.
He ain't going to get fucking Andrews, and he ain't going to get Grandal. All those dudes are league average or better in both compartments.
Yep.
In whiff and in not chasing. So now we're down to 6, where it says he's going to pummel Robert and Jimenez. Like those 2 dudes back to back, all right. And Collis, that dude he's gonna get pummeled on. So take out one of those, Benintendi, which won't probably come out today, but maybe he will, because Burnes has good numbers versus him, and they may give him the off day. This would be a day on a guy who's kicked your ass. So it's only 3 at bats, though. I mean, can you take in 3 at bats? No.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to take it in. It's not a lot of flick and plate appearances, but when I just look at their broad whiff and chase, when I did their lineup, it was like it may be a little bit harder than what they're saying this should be. So I need to see how Anderson's playing right now. I need to see how Mancada, Vaughn, and those were the 50-50s. If those guys are striking out, then I can look to get in, because I need the 50-50 guys to give me my strikeouts. Yep. I know I'm getting them from Robert Jimenez and Collis. Now I need those 50-50 guys to be doing bad. I'll just strictly run those guys in a lineup on Fangraphs and see how they're playing over that time span. Then I'll go one by one and make sure it's not just one guy dragging down that whole set of numbers, because that happens a lot, guys. Like, make sure, that's why I like to write it out and look at it from afar before I put it in an average calculator, because it's like, yeah, it says they're bad, but like it did with Eduardo Rodriguez, it said they were terrible, but it was only 4 guys that were terrible. So the whole lineup says it's bad, but it's not, guys. So lineups are key, especially when running guys, when you need lefties, when you need a certain whiff or chases, and you just don't know what you're going to get sometimes. So anything else on Burnsy?
Nope, I'm good. Let's go.
Let's get on Luis Castillo. Ran out of internet before me and you got to say something.
No. I think you and I are very aligned on this one.
Oh, we gotta be, bro, because we're going under the water. All right, guys, Luis Castillo versus the Orioles, striking people out at 28% of the time while walking people 6% of the time. Opened them up on FanDuel, 7+ -126. Got hammered morning, 8+ +124, and it's starting to come back down, where the best line available to the 6.5 is -154 on FanDuel, where PrizePicks has them at a flat 7. Hits allowed, under, over, are at a flat 5. Projected lineup today for your Orioles is 5 lefties, 4 righties. But I don't think that's the projected lineup, as I seen Cedric Mullins is back today, and he ain't in the projected lineup. So put him in the lineup for me, please.
Yep. I mean, Castillo because this already went to 7.5. Yes. I know it opened at 6.5.
It opened at 6.5, went 7.5, and it's came back down.
No, DK has it at 7.5 still. Give me 7.5, and I want the under on this one. This actually might even be one that I'd pay up the juice for. -150 is a little up there. I don't normally like to pay that much, but look, you look at Castillo's top 2 pitches, which are the exact same as Justin Verlander, which is 4-seam fastball with velo and a slider. And they're very, very similar from that regard. They're very similar in a lot of metrics. Then you look at this Orioles team and you look up and down this projected lineup, and there are very few guys that they can put in here that have an outrageously, like, one that would make you be like, ooh, whiff or K percentage against a 4-seamer like that, or against a slider. You also have that Castillo's biggest thing here is he does have an 88th percentile whiff rating for the year. Orioles last 30 days, which is very relative to their stats for the year, 11.5% MLB average. They're at 10.6, and they've been low for the entire year. Overall swing metrics, they're right in the middle of the pack. They actually take probably a few more pitches than they should, and which is why their called strike rate is above, but 10.6% swinging strike rate against a guy that gets the majority of his Ks off of those whiffs, and they don't K against sliders, and they don't K very below league average against 4-seam fastballs. Other than being on the road, I'm not sure what else you're looking for here.
I mean,
I'm not sure what else you want.
I'll give you something that's totally different, and it led me to the under, and it's totally different than the way you got there. So, La Parada Day, guys. It comes at home versus the Baltimore Orioles. And they're not so great numbers they do bring into this contest, as they are walking below league average, striking out 25% of the time, yet they are hitting the ball with a nice team isolated power of 190. So this is from afar, looks like a spot to attack, as they are projected 5 left-handed bats, and their strikeout percentage is 25%. As well as Castillo striking out lefties, 1 strikeout more per 9 this year than he has from the right-handed side. And he's at home. Boot. Cool. Yay. Good. Let's go over. This guy's freaking averaging 11.2K per 9 at home compared to just 9 on the road. Also, when we look at the Orioles, what they bring into this contest, and that's a team who's 10th in the league in chasing pitches. Now, they're also 10th in the league at making contact when chasing, and that's where this over turns to an under for me. As this year, Castillo has faced 6 teams in the top 10 chase. That matchup in the top 10 at making contact as well, and it's not been good. Castillo is 0-6 to the over 7.5, 1-5 to the over 6.5, with only getting 7 in just one game, averaging 5.4 strikeouts a game. And those were versus the ones that had both of them in them. As guys, he didn't get more than 6 versus any team that I didn't mention that were in the top 10 at making just chase contact, as they weren't in it just chase. They were just up there, as in when they did, they made contact, and that just hasn't been good for La Pareda, guys. So what I need to get in on this under, simple. I need O'Hearn, I need Frazier in that damn lineup. They have 29 plate appearances versus Castillo with a whopping 3 strikeouts. Now, what do the fuck these have in common, guys? What do those boys have in common? Let me tell you something. We've got O'Hearn right now with a 60.8 chase contact percentage, where Frazier beats him with a 65.8. That's better than league average by 10 to 15%, guys. That's the type of guys I want in the lineup. You know?
That's outrageously good. It is outrageous. Hitters don't do that in MLB. Like 56, 57, maybe even 60, you're in okay shape.
These guys, 65 and 60. And we've got 2 other guys that are above 60 as well projected in this lineup, where my issue is we only have 4 guys without Mullins. So you give me those 4 with Mullins, I'm fucking going under. I'll pay the minus 150, as he's had 7 one time. I don't want to get fucking burnt. You're going to have to cook me, motherfucker. And this is under, when the whole world is probably looking over in my so yeah. Yep. Oh, he's at home. Oh, they got lefties. Yeah. Oh, they're striking out 25% of the time. Oh yeah, hold my beer. Go ahead.
No, I saw in the chat it said FD under 7.5 minus 150. True. Bet 365. I might have just gone up to minus 145. It was just at minus 140 a few seconds ago.
I'm going to need Rochman. I'm going to need Santander, Hearn, and Frazier, as well as Mountcastle. Personally, I want those 5 guys in the damn lineup. I want they are elite.
I may have
Rochman's 70%, bro.
I may have already taken it regardless of lineups.
And you got a way better fucking number, because, dude, when I was looking at it earlier, I think it was 35 or 40 to the under of 7.5.
And for anybody who was wondering, well, my book only has a 6.5. Let me put it this way.
I'm going to look to bet that too.
Based on these numbers I'm seeing, if he ain't hitting over 7.5, he ain't hitting over 6.5 either. There are very, very few outcomes in this one where he gets 7 exactly. In my
1 out of 6. He's got it 1 out of 6.
In my humble opinion. So he's either going to kill this one or not even coming close.
I think you pay up the juice, or you just go half unit on the 6.5, guys. Because, like I said, it's like 18%. Literally, there's a very minimal chance he lands on dead 7, but more often than not, and with very good sample size of what I was looking at, oh Lord, he can have a great game. I'm not saying he don't go 7 innings. He went 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, and 3 strikeouts versus the Astros. So not close to the K-prop.
So when you look at, and then you even look at, I talked about like when it was my time, you look at the likely lineup for the Orioles. You look at Rushman against a slider, 18.6% whiff, 23.2% K. You look at Frazier, 26.6% whiff, 17% K. Mullins, if he's in the lineup, 22-2 and 15-2. I mean, I could go on and on and on. They have one hitter, one batter in their lineup that is over 40% whiff rate against a slider, and that's Jordan Westberg, who's a utility player who's only seen 61 pitches for the year. What that means is this team hits sliders. They hit fastballs. They make contact against them. It's the other breaking stuff that gives them, and the off-speed stuff that gives them problems, not this.
Hey, LG, I hear you, bro. Ballpark has them projected for 7 strikeouts, 6. Yeah, his best game, bro, he goes 7 innings, 7 strikeouts. Yeah, I said there's an 18% chance he does land on 7. And that's funny to me, bro, because that's his best game right here in this spot. So put Mullins in that lineup, and I'm gonna have to join my boy Spin Doc, as we do not talk prior to the days of this show. So I tried to tell him I was on Castillo Under, and he was having internet problems, and every time he tried to talk, he froze. So I didn't hear anything, and then I had to start the show. So yeah, great to hear that we are both looking at him, and he's already on him, but I'll look at the 6.5 as well for a lesser bet if that's what I gotta bet. But
yeah, I would tell you right now, if you are a little more risk averse and analytical about where you invest your gambling money, what I would tell you is you can probably play the under 7.5 for just play it for 1 unit total. And then obviously you'd get a reduced payout. If Mullins does get inserted in the lineup, then go all the way, then just complete your bet with a second play.
They need to take out McKenna and put in him, bro. Please flip it. Take McKenna out the goddamn 9 hole. He don't belong in this lineup, and put Mullins back in the 1 hole.
Well, except for McKenna's whiff and K rates and batting average against sliders are really, really good. So they might leave him in. I don't know. I mean,
against a slider, but every other pitch, the dude.
Okay, fair enough.
Trash. When I look at his overall numbers, it says, oh Lord, he's whipping 33.3% and chasing like 1.5% worse.
32% K percentage against a 4-seam fastball, all pitchers.
Which he has, bro. That's what La Pareda will throw.
No, I know. I
don't want that whip there from that kid, bro. Yeah, I get it. You don't chase, but La Pareda will fucking come at you, bro. Yep. He will come at you. He ain't going to try to just, fish. He will throw fucking 97 and try to go for the high. But I think 7, he lands on 7, I think, on his best day if I get my Mullins in there. And I think that 7's not happening. Yeah.
But sorry, real quick before we go on, I saw in the chat my opinion on Dallas Keuchel. God help us. Maybe. No, the Phillies are a team to me that you can get out and you can give fits when you make them chase. Keuchel obviously doesn't do that. I can see him. If he can go 5 and give up 3 earned runs or less, I'll be happy.
That would be considered a great game for old Dallas Keuchel.
That would be, I would call that a quality start, even if MLB doesn't.
And I'm going to tell you how I bet Dallas Keuchel. It was simple. They had his earned runs at 3.5, his outs at 14.5, and over 2.5 team total was -135 for the first 5. Why would I fucking bet that? That was a fucking free run. That was only pitching 5 innings anyway.
He's pitching 5 innings no matter what.
Right. So instead of taking his earned runs, which could happen on errors because he's going to give up hits, and let me tell you, this Phillies team's really good versus lefties lately. I cashed my earned runs on fucking Gore in the first inning. He got popped for 6. Who was the lefty they ran out again the other? This team's been hitting lefties. There's 4 or 5 guys with numerous plate appearances versus Keuchel, all batting 300 or better. This is a humming machine, and this is a fucking bum who gave up 10 base runners and only 1 run last time. You're giving them up today, Dallas.
Go
giving them up.
Yeah, go and check out the Phillies stats against soft tossers, soft tossers that don't make guys chase. It's not pretty. So
they're gonna pummel him.
Yeah. So I am.
You've got guys that are now hitting like Turner. Turner ain't been hitting all year.
I'm hoping if we can get if we can only have allowed 3 runs total by the 5th inning, I'll be happy.
See, I couldn't trust Sanchez myself, so I just strictly went team total over 2.5 with Team Sharpie.
Yep.
And on the first 5, paid -135 and was like, dude, the earned runs are 3.5. They're saying he's not going more than 5, but I can get a 2.5. I'd be a fucking idiot to go bet the earn runs over right here. You'd be a fucking idiot, guys. Learn how to look through lines and find the best value to bet it, guys. Don't just jump at the first thing. I mean, I knew last night it was fade Dallas Keuchel day. I mean, I was freaking throwing a birthday party, guys. It's freaking, you have parties on days like this.
Yeah.
They don't come often.
Yeah. This is my take on every time I watch, because Twins are in a slump now, about watching Keuchel pitch today, is I'll be like, please, just
stay in the park. Stay in the park.
Get me through the fifth. Just get me through the fifth inning, and the Phillies have 3 runs or less, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, well,
that gives us a chance. Okay, I'm sorry. We can move on.
Nah, bro, you're the one who usually has business meetings to get to. So, Lance Lynn versus the Rockies. My new Doyer. Number 36 in the black book, striking people out 27% of the time while walking people 7% of the time on the year. Opened them up 8+ -130 on FanDuel, where the best line available now is 8+ -144 on FanDuel, where it did spike up to 9.5 at one point. 7.5 on PrizePicks, where his hits allowed are under over a flat 5. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties for your Rockies. What you got on Lance Lynn?
Couple things here. First of all, we talked about, are you going to bet an Angels strikeout under on the road? No, of course you're not. Are you going to bet a Rockies one? No, of course you're not. So let's talk about the over for this one. The problem I have with this one is the projected Rockies lineup. Many, and I think almost all of them, if I remember right. All of them except for McMahon, and I think Nolan Jones, do have a 25% or less whiff rate against four-seam fastball. It is much higher against breaking balls. They also have a very low whiff percentage against a cutter too. So you got to go deeper into Lynn's pitch mix. His highest whiff pitch, which is his 3rd or 4th most thrown, is his curve. The Rockies do K and whiff a ton against the curve. So if you think that Lynn will be hitting his spots on his curve, or if you have an umpire, which I haven't, I think it is going to be, God, who is there on tonight? Anyways, I'll get that. But if you think that you're going to have a generous ump, then you can maybe run this too. But my problem here, though, even bigger, is that the lefties that the Rockies are likely to run, Jones, McMahon, and Profar, I'm sure will bet lefty, do not have a high whiff or K percentage against virtually any pitch of any of Lynn's main pitches. The reason why that's important is right now they are projected to run 4. And Lynn at home only has a 19.7% K percentage against left-handed batters. He also only has a 22% K percentage against lefties for the entire season. When you look at swing metrics, when you look at K metrics, my God, obviously the over just screams loudly at you. When you look deeper, you see that there aren't many guys in this lineup that have a high whiff and K percentage against the pitches that Lynn uses to get guys out. That said, I would have to be on some good shit to take an under on the Rockies on the road against a power pitcher. So for me, straight pass, watch and enjoy the game.
Question before I do my breakdown on him.
Yeah.
Is he at a new home?
Yeah, I ran it since he got traded, though.
Okay, he's only pitched 1 game at home. I always say that because
No.
You ask 100 pitchers where they want to pitch. If they had one mound to pick, they're gonna tell you Chavez Ravine at nighttime. So he's on the best mound that I'm just saying that magic happens, bro. The freezing, it might be 80, 90 during the day. It's 68 by game time, and the ball dies. And the backdrop of white shirts, white Dodger jerseys with a white baseball, the way it's laid out, bro, you just it's a pitcher's ballpark at nighttime, guys. It really is. So I was not surprised to say he had a good game, but his first game there, but it was versus the Oakland A's. Now, did I know he was going to get hit versus the fucking Padres? Yeah. Did I bet it? No, because I'm a cuck. But We finished our day talking Lance Lynn versus the Rockies in his third start for the Dodgers and what may be an actual better matchup than the first one, and that was versus the sorry-ass Oakland A's. As the Rockies over the past 15 days are walking a crappy 6.5%, bottom 10 when it comes to isolated power and striking out 27.5 of their at-bats. And we know it's just not that, guys. They are top 5 worst in the team in the show when it comes to whiff and chase percentages. So let's go see how Lance has done versus team in the whiff percentages in the top 10 as the Rockies are in the top 5. He had 7, 10, 10, 6, 6, 16, 6, and 7. And that, guys, is in only 3.5. 3 wins, 3 wins, 5 losses to the over 7.5, or depending the 8.5. That's not a good fucking win percentage, guys. So when he goes over, he flies over. So I would actually, if you want Lynn, you take him up, guys, because he's shown he blows through it if he's going to hit it. It's just not, let's just cash by the hook. It's, I'm going to have the game of my fucking life today, and you're not going to do nothing about it. So when we go look at teams that he's faced in the top 10 chase, like this team, guys, we run into a little bit of a problem, as it is not a problem. It is 7-7-16. And one of those games was versus those no-fly zone Guardians. Is, yes, like we said, they chase, but they make contact when chasing, guys. The only team he has faced where they are bottom 5 or top, however you want to look at it, in whip and chase compartment was the Seattle Mariners. And I leaned under that day like a fucking cuck, and I didn't bet it. That's where the cuck would have came in, because that motherfucker had 16. Yeah, so at the end of the day, if anything, I'm looking to pull him down to that 6 and Dodgers win. And if I have to take a -1.5, so be it. I expect this guy to be out there 7 innings and shove today, guys. Now, does he get that big number? I don't know. That's just something I'm going to have to wait for the lineups for, as my man just made some real good sense. As Profar is really the only one with a lot of plate appearances versus him. And that dude's only struck out 2 of 15 at-bats. If we get 4 of those guys in there, call me, bro. We might have to go under today. I know that may sound crazy, but you struggle versus guys like Profar. Your pitch mix, my boy just said, doesn't add up to 4 of these guys. 7.5 is going to be fucking tough, guys.
It's a big number. It's a big
number.
And especially if you expect him with the lack of whiff and the lack of Ks against that pitch mix, if you want 7 strikeouts. So think about if this adds up. Lynn is going to probably throw 95 to 100 pitches tonight. That's what he usually does. Let's just put him down for 100. Okay, 100 pitches. He's going to strike out, let's just say 8. Okay, with those 8, when you do the math and think about how many pitches it would take, I mean, unless he's going to K half of his guys on 3 pitches, going 7 innings and striking out 8 with those numbers, the math just doesn't add up for me. So to me, it's one or the other. To me, he's either going to go dominate and he's just going to go 7 strong, and I'm sure he'll get 5, minimum 5 or 6 for sure.
I think 6 is the minimum.
6 sounds about right. Okay, fine.
I think 6 is at worst. Like, okay, bro, you go 7, you end up on 6. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. But then it's like, if you want him to go that much deeper into the game and still strike that many guys out with those whiff and K rates, doesn't jive for me. That said, it would take a lot for me to even consider an under on the Rockies on the road. As of right now, I am 99% sure this game will just be a pass for me.
Yeah, I'm just going to probably look to back the Dodgers and Lance Lynn just on the run line personally.
I think that's probably the smartest way to do it, to be honest.
I like my team versus lefties now that we added in Rosario and Kiki. It's just like, okay, we're very formidable. Yeah, we could strike out. That's fine. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm not betting strikeout props. I just think Lynn's going to go out there and shove. And I think we get the Gomer Piles today, guys. This Dodger team's clicking, guys. They really are. And I told you minus 380 on motherfucking Kershaw yesterday with some hoe-ass shit, guys. And I told you the 2.5 plus Rockies was the best bet on the board. Like, hey, I know my team. No way in hell should a guy be minus 380 when he's not going more than 5 innings. Like, okay, if Kershaw wasn't on a limit, okay. And the crazy shit, bro, when Kershaw faced his last game before going to the IL, it was versus the Colorado Rockies. Do you know what his K prop was at then?
What?
6.5. They put it there yesterday on a fucking, I was like, yeah, you're going to have to get me, buddy. All right, let's fucking go.
That's funny.
I was like, I write it down. So I was like, this is the same number we got without a pitch count. All right, bro. Like, I love me Kershaw, but under, and I love him even more that I cashed it under.
I mean, at the end of the day, too, you got to, for those of you that might not bet or study K props on a regular basis, you have to understand that just because we're saying a guy will or won't hit his Ks, that is not always correlative to how well they pitch. Guys pitch well all the time and give up no earned runs and strike out 2. Likewise, guys strike out 7 and get destroyed. It happens.
Dallas Keuchel gave up like 10 base runners, 1 strikeout, 5 innings worth of work, and only 1 run.
Yep.
Dylan Cease the other day walked 7. Allowed 1 hit in the 6th inning.
Yep.
No runs though, but it's weird, bro. It's just it doesn't correlate at all. It don't correlate.
Nope.
Well, my guy, we've hung out for a long time today. Appreciate you as always.
Yeah,
Let
thank you,
these guys
on.
know what you got going on. As I believe the Tout plays got back on track with 4 straight wins. So
No. I've got 4 straight wins. Tout got back on track with a win the other night. The card wasn't big enough to have a Tout play last night. We're back tonight. I already basically told you one of the ones that I'm on. So I may as well just make that one the Tout too with Castillo. But anyways, yeah, find me at Spin Doc Sports. Also, for those of you that listen to me on Jose or on here that have, for anybody that's donated to my mom's foundation, Michelle Gargaro Foundation, I do appreciate it. We just got the final numbers from the charity golf tournament and subsequent donations that we raised. We did raise over $6,000 for ALS research. So everybody who tweeted, supported, donated, thank you. That money will be going, 100% of that money will be going to families who are in need of a caretaker whose loved ones suffer from ALS. So this was our 2nd year of doing it. And like I said, $6,000 that we can help out people and do a lot of good things. So we are 100% nonprofit. Every dollar in goes out. This is all volunteer work. So appreciate everybody, everybody who gave positive words, like tweets that I sent out. Thank you guys. But yeah, $6,000 was our grand total for the golf tournament.
Yeah, man, that's freaking awesome, dude. And I know you freaking got a bunch of things that you went out and freaking worked your ass off to get. I was like, dude, do I want to take a trip to Minnesota and stay at this freaking hotel for a week?
There were a lot of good prizes.
Bro.
There were a lot of good
some
prizes.
Deals, bro, in there for the auctions and stuff. And I was
There's
like,
a lot of good prizes out there.
I was like, I think I might want to go out there, bro. But then again, it's like I want to go to Miami before I go to Minnesota, bro. I mean, I haven't been to Florida yet. I want to feel on some BBWs in Florida. It's just the way that life goes sometimes, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. So appreciate you guys all for showing up. You guys already know the drill. For those who are looking for a little PrizePicks play, I did end up putting a little bit on. I ended up doing this right here, guys. We're going to take Castillo under 7, guys. Because like I said, that's a push right there, guys, if he does get 7 for us. I like Burnes to shove today. Now, are the strikeouts going to be there? I don't know. I think he gets 6 at worst, but I do have him going 7 to 9 innings, getting the quality start for the fantasy score and getting the win bonus as well. Then I got JV, guys. It's the easiest way to pick on Reed Detmers and a guy I got going 7 innings. You go 7 innings, that cashes with or without his strikeouts, really, guys, at the end of the day. That's too low for a guy I got going 7+ innings today. So that 3-pick right there, guys, power pick it, guys, because if that pushes, it drops it to a 2-pick. Fine, no problemo. But we've got a really good chance at that under today, guys. Put Mullins in that lineup. Until next time, guys, you already know this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. Go on over there and use that promo code PUBSPORTS and get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25 by using the best promo code on God's green earth. PubSports, that is. Until next time, guys, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is produced by me today, bitches. And our special guest is Spin Doc Sports. Until next time, guys, keep it solid. And, yeah, we gonna keep it rolling. Keep it solid. Keep it rolling.
Hey, everyone. Welcome into the Pub Sports Radio preview for the week. And let's start off with the three most important things. The Survivor Contest, Cappers Contest for 2023. Sign up today over at the Pub Sports Radio website, www.pubsportsradio.com. You got sign up, $100 for each contest there, so $200 total. The poker tournament as well. Poker tournament's happening 3 times in August, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. Sign up with our friends at Bet Online right now. $25 buy-in, whole lot of fun, and the winners get prizes as well. So shout out to Bet Online, our presenting host for that contest. Next, we have the Balking Day. Sharpie in the joints as well. The best damn MLB prop show in all the land. Pitcher props galore from Sharpie and all of his guests, including Connor Mack Picks, the Spin Doc, LJ from H-Town, and the Pimp Slap Pod himself, Mike M. Next, Clint of the Die Hard MMA podcast has been red hot on the canvas this year so far. 3 shows a week, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday, he does his regular podcast where he breaks down the entire card, makes some picks. Thursday, he has Total Takedown. Friday, of course, the Undefeated Weigh-In show where he blocks in the rest of his action. So shout out to our guy Clint on Thursday. Speaking of it, the Unmuted Mic with Dabby Cab and Dave Rogers. They also bring a variety of entertainment, including interviews with OnlyFans stars. This week, Rachel Pye joins the program, who illustrious OnlyFans star, and I'm sure Dave and Cab will get into a bunch of hijinks. Speaking of the aforementioned Dabby Cab, he's also on The Sesh with Dutch Boy Fresh, the true connoisseurs over there as well. They get into a variety of sports gambling topics, as well as puffing that sweet, sweet Mary Jane while doing it. So shout out to The Sesh, as well as our guys, Loshak in the Bag, Peter and Jimmy, reunited again on Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, and betting with the bag Wednesdays and Fridays, same times, breaking down every game on the card in great detail and doing it with some of the best cappers in the whole industry and the best damn chat in the damn game. We have the main event on Talking Hands, Danny Betts and Preston Ekdahl talking about the latest boxing card that's happening this week.
Y'all sleeping on this show, guys. They winning over 70% on the year
this week, so check out their show for all the latest insights and opinions, as well as our guys DFS by the numbers, aka Brady, on the channel, Stat Diggers. They go through the card, him and Uncle Weezy, Sunday nights for a deep, in-depth breakdown of the UFC. And don't forget about your boy right here, Jose Bouquet, hosting Say Hey Plays Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, breaking down the entire baseball card, only the way weekends, doing it with some laughs on the way there. So say hey to me there, and that's the schedule. Thank you guys for watching along. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button on this video that you're watching, and don't forget to subscribe for those updates, because you never know what might happen with the Cappers Contest, which you can sign up with right now. Sign up for on the Pub Sports Radio website, www.pubsportsradio.com. Say hey guys, see you guys next time.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.